Want candy now?
What is going on, everybody? Nasdorachi coming back at you today with another episode for Dragon Ball Legends. So we're covering a couple things today, not anything too groundbreaking, but I see a lot of questions about team building and team theory in comments and across Reddit and elsewhere. And as well, we've got a pretty exciting announcement about a new banner that's directly in the game here. So first and foremost, I do want to say that I've responded to some of the constructive criticism in my comments, saying that my face cam quality wasn't the best. It was already broken, to be honest with you, and cutting out, forcing me to edit and do all types of crazy stuff. So I did go ahead and buy a nice new 1080p, 30 frames per second, wicked good camera here. So that should be awesome. Nice Logitech C920, I believe is what it's called. So, yay, we're always investing in the channel and trying to make things better here to improve you guys' viewing experience. But that is not what we are here to talk about today. We are here to talk about this new banner. So, normally I get cool information and future hints from V-Jump scans, but I searched and I didn't find any discussing this right here. But in the game directly, they announced a teaser, so that's kind of new, cool, interesting, like no other forewarning except right from the game devs themselves here. But we're getting the second Ultra Space-Time Summon. It's going to have featured units Future Trunks and Super Saiyan Vegeta. I'm anticipating at least, if not both of these characters, will be red or purple type or color, because those are the two colors that are severely lacking in more powerful units in the game right now. Every other color, green, blue, and yellow, have at least two, upwards of three sparking characters, so purple and red are probably going to make a comeback here, and that's going to be good. We definitely need to see that. I want to see more team variety. Now, Vegeta is going to be a full-blooded Saiyan, so he's going to team build most likely very well into the pre-existing Saiyans team, which I'm going to show you the kind of pre-setup for that in a few minutes here, but Trunks may have more of a tough time fitting in. He is a hybrid Saiyan, and there aren't really any good hybrid Saiyan synergies going on in the game right now. Kid Gohan is a great hybrid Saiyan, but his Z ability tends to favor the children characters, so I think that his viability is going to be more of a thing when Goten, Kid Trunks, and Gotenks are in the game. I think that's when Kid Gohan's really going to shine, whether he's an active character for his strike damage, or whether he's on the bench just to buff the other kids' characters. So that's going to be something we see more in the future. Now, it could be cool if the Future Trunks comes out and ends up buffing the Kid Gohan card with maybe just a general buff to all hybrid Saiyans. Then that could add some viability to the Kid Gohan card with some much needed synergy for him. Right now, he really only synergizes well with the Sparking and EX Piccolos in the game, and maybe a couple other minor links with Super Warriors, but the hybrid Saiyans is definitely in development. There's going to be great in the future, but right now it's kind of work in progress. So again, hopefully red and purple on these two Sparkings. It says down here kind of in the middle, you can see other new characters are also expected to join these two. Look forward to the upcoming event, and the content can start, change, end date, blah blah blah, whatever. It could be random. So again, no V-Jump scans. The game is teasing this to us directly. I'm assuming there's going to be new EX cards. It's teasing that, like, again, kind of in the middle of the screen. So I would assume that. I don't know if there's going to be any other new Sparking cards. On this banner, I would anticipate potentially seeing the Spirit Bomb Goku become a summonable unit, because that was teased in some of Renzi's data mines, that might be a possibility. So again, generally there's 5 Sparking characters on every banner, so we're either going to potentially see one new one that is not teased to be a real surprise, or we may potentially see some recycled units. Hopefully not Pan, Piccolo, and Pycon. I've seen them often enough already. Unfortunately, I don't think Broly or Frieza will make a return on this banner. They might, but I just don't think that they will, only because the Broly banner just left, and they want to probably keep him like a little bit more exclusive. I mean, I'm sure he will return, but I wouldn't anticipate him returning this soon, is basically what I was trying to say there. And if the Frieza banner is still active or ending right when this one comes alive, I wouldn't really expect to see him return either. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. 3 other mystery sparkings, maybe 1 more new one to shock us and get that cool shock value, but probably some recycled sparkings and some new EX cards. That's really about all for that announcement. I mean, most of you guys probably just saw that yourselves if you are savvy enough to kind of click through that envelope every once in a while. So from there, we're going to get into a more meaty and informational part of the video, which is team building. Now, I want to preface this with a little disclaimer. I'm not trying to take credit for saying that I have created these teams. There's a lot of good team builders on Reddit and Facebook and other forums, and some of the teams that you're going to see me show off here, you may have seen already elsewhere, or someone might have created an Instagram photo with, their watermark on it and whatever, what have you. So again, I'm not trying to take credit for that, but if you look, there's only about like 45 to 47 cards in the game, so if you take the time to actually read through their Z abilities and their various buffs, it is not, crazy or mind-blowing to assume that, you could do all this team building yourself. So I'm just here to show you some things that may speed up or help this out for you if you haven't really taken the time to read all the cards. So one of the most trending and most popular team builds that I've seen right now, again, I don't know who the original creator is on this, but read through the Z ability buffs, you can see that this team has great synergy right here for the most part. And it's kind of all directed at Pycon, so the actual team synergy is not that great, but Pycon synergy is really amazing here. So you have Pycon as the main character, is the theory behind this team here. He is a very good off-tank. He's very powerful. He can contend with pretty much everyone in the game and hold his own except for Super Saiyan Goku, his main weakness, and potentially whatever other future red card gets introduced in this second banner that's upcoming here. So Pycon naturally does not have many weaknesses in the game because there's a lack of good red cards. And Broly, that's where he comes in. So Super Saiyan Goku is Pycon's counter type. Broly is a ridiculously amazing hard counter for Super Saiyan Goku. Not only does Broly have the buffs that give him additional damage every time he squares up against a Goku, but he has the blue-red advantage as well. So that's where Broly comes in to cover Pycon's main weakness. Outside of that, Pycon can pretty much contend with any other enemy that your opponent throws at you. And then you have Piccolo for actual tanking and his heal, kind of a support. So your main damage on this team is mainly coming from Pycon, and then as well Broly strike attack and coverage for that red counter type. Now your support units here, it's interesting you see Final Form Frieza is a bench character on this team and not actually a front runner. But it's mainly because his Z ability is an amazing buff for Pycon here. So the more stars I guess you have on him, the better. I was only lucky enough to get one of him, but this 19% element yellow base strike and blast defense during battle. So that's going to increase Pycon's tanking, which he's already, like I said, a good off tank. He can take hits very well. So Frieza is going to buff that aspect of him even more. You'll have Tien on the bench here as his Z ability is going to give 20% yellow base strike defense, increasing Pycon's toughness even more. And then you have the EX Piccolo on the team because he gives, I believe, about 22 to 24% extra healing when you go to use your Sparking Piccolo's healing command. So right now mine is 20% yellow health restoration. So only to Pycon, instead of getting a 25% heal when Piccolo uses his main ability, he will get a 45% heal. Because you have all the defensive buffs coming from Frieza and EXTN, Pycon really is going to be nearly unkillable. He for me already, without using this team, just on using my all Sparkings team, can generally survive a lot of Rising Rushes. That varies depending on type advantage and other circumstances, but he is a Rising Rush survivor capable character. So that right there, with these added defensive buffs and the added heal for almost half his health bar, makes him the front runner on this team, with Broly and Piccolo there again, mainly just to support the unkillable Pycon. So, very powerful and good team right now. Moving on to another team, which this one is the one that I generally run. It is just your kind of standard all Sparking characters team. There is no real particular standout synergy here, other than the fact that with this team, you are guaranteed to be able to have a hard counter for every color type your opponent may bring. Now, there are some synergies going on here, like Goku and Vegeta buffing each other, and Broly with various Saiyan buffs, but Piccolo, Frieza, and Pycon there are mainly existing on this team just to give you type advantage, because you know a lot of people are generally going to bring Broly, so you might want Piccolo. You know a lot of people are generally going to bring Sparking Vegeta, so you'll want Pycon. So this is just your run-of-the-mill, all types counter team here, all Sparkings, nothing that's really absurd. And one thing that I forgot to mention on the Pycon team is Broly, other than giving Pycon some support for his Goku encounters, he actually gives him even more blast defense, because the saga from the movies is shared from Pycon. So this Pycon we have in the game is not the filler kind of Otherworld tournament version Pycon. It is the Fusion Reborn version, therefore he gets that movie tag. So that's some more synergy I kind of forgot to mention there as to why Broly is good on this team, other than for the red matchup. So we have the first two teams covered there. Again, your standard all Sparkings, your Pycon buff. Another team which is going to be a lot more free-to-play player friendly, just depending on what your luck is, whether you re-rolled or not, is your standard Ginyu Force team. Now, we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on this one, because 5 out of the 6 cards are just hero types, so it's kind of just a meh team. But the standout thing to take note of here is that with all of these characters specifically combined in this way, including the hero type Ginyu, they all buff each other up to a pretty above average level. Like right now they're below average, but with all the included buffs and this specific team build, they are actually above average. I mean, as you can see, most of my Ginyu Force is capped right around 300, except for the captain here. It's just kind of, I've wasted resources on sparking characters. But for a more free-to-play player, or someone who didn't get lucky on a lot of sparking cards, this is a viable team. When all these characters are at 1,000, they are actually very good. Just to thumb through some of them here, like I'm not going to specifically dive into why every Ginyu helps every other Ginyu, but you'll see like stuff like this across all of their cards. 21% tagged Ginyu Force based blast attack during battle. Then you'll have on Raccoon, he gives all Ginyu Force members additional damage versus, I believe, Saiyans. And other various offensive, defensive buffs. The hero Ginyu buffs critical for all Ginyu Force members. So that's just why this team actually right here does have the best synergy out of any possible team you could run right now. Every single character on this team is literally helping out every single other character on this team in a just blanket buffing fashion. So most powerful synergy on this team, and it is free-to-play player friendly. You can get the Ginyu completely for free. All the other cards you should be able to get for free as well through the challenges we have going on now if you haven't already pulled them because they're low rarity. So very good, very synergistic team, but probably still not going to match the overall stat levels of a primarily sparking team or something more focused on better cards. You know, no offense to the Ginyu Force, but right now they are in desperate need of some EX cards. Next up is one of the original teams that we've seen in the game, but with some tweaks. Now, this is just your standard Powerhouse Saiyans team. Originally, I believe it was just Vegeta, Goku, and people would end up running Piccolo on the team, and then you'd have the EX Blue-type Goku, the Raditz EX card, and Shallot. Now, they've introduced, since then, of course, the Spirit Bomb Goku. They've introduced this green EX Vegeta card, which makes a great addition to the team, and, of course, Broly. So the team has evolved. This is my take on it right now. Of course, there is room for variations and subs and swaps, depending on what you may need or what you have and don't have. But right now, this is kind of the way I have this team structured. So you have your main core characters, and that's the same for all these teams, you guys. The 3 characters across the top are the ones you're bringing to battle, and I've structured the 3 characters on the bottom as the ones that are the bench characters. So that's true for all the teams I'm covering right now. So if you were wondering which ones you should bring in bench, that's top bottom. That's how I have it set up. So you would, for this team, again, plenty of variations. You have plenty of Saiyan buffs. This new green Vegeta right here, in my opinion, is going to be better than Raditz or Shallot to add to the team. So you would take them off the bench and add him. He gives 20% to blast attack, which is great for the sparking Vegeta and the sparking Goku. And it helps Broly out as well, because Broly is a little bit lacking on his blast attack. So this Vegeta is an amazing buff for all the Powerhouse Saiyans that we have in the game already. And Raditz gives, what, like 15-ish, maybe give or take a little bit percent to their health. I would prefer more offense. You know, in my philosophy, especially because there's no blocking in this game, a good offense is your best defense. So we're going to go with this green Vegeta replacing either Shallot or Raditz on this team. And the EX Nappa really is very situational, so he can kind of be forgotten about for now as well. Of course, the EX Blue Goku remains for a couple of reasons. Not only does he buff our Powerhouse lineup's strike attack, similarly to the way that the green Vegeta did, but you can actually farm him in PvP right now. I think he starts dropping. I'm not entirely sure what level he starts dropping at, because I started at level 30 this season. But he does eventually start dropping as a reward for PvP. Whether you win or lose, you will get him. So you can get a free 7-star card if you play enough PvP, which not only gives you access to another type of currency when you continue to earn him after he's maxed out, but it'll buff up that Z ability to the max as a free-to-play card. So you'll have a card with max Z ability, and you didn't have to spend anything on it. I know I just said the same thing twice right there, but really hammer it in. He's still great. He's relevant on this team. The strike damage buffs that he puts out are phenomenal, and Broly loves that. So we definitely are rocking the EX Goku there. I have the Spirit Bomb Goku on here. He adds some defense to all Saiyans first. I believe Blast. Let me triple check that. Strike defense, sorry. So that's really good for Vegeta and Goku, because they tend to be kind of the glass cannon type. So that extra defensive buff is good for them. Again, Shallot is a even lesser HP buff than Raditz does to the Saiyan team. So I would actually prefer the raw defense as opposed to a health up. This card is situational though. You really can switch him out for Piccolo. I mean, the strike damage is nice, the defensive buff for it, but Piccolo is a better tank overall than Spirit Bomb Goku. So you might vary out the Spirit Bomb Goku for Piccolo. If you're going for more offense and more towards Broly, we have another team we can discuss with an EX Frost card on it. But really, the Spirit Bomb Goku is your most wild card here. He can be subbed out for something else, again, like Sparking Piccolo if you need him really bad, or Sparking Pycon if you feel like you need that counter to Vegeta. Vegeta can generally be killed relatively easy without having to break out Pycon, though. So there is that. But this is your current, in my opinion, best Saiyans team. Again, for all these teams, feel free to leave in the comments any thoughts, suggestions, constructive criticism you have on these teams. So all forms of criticism are welcome. So if you have any other ideas, and a team maybe that I haven't covered, feel free to comment it down below. But we're getting close to the end here. This team right here is kind of illustrates why monotype building is not necessarily good. You know, it's aiming for a red buff. If you check all three of Dodoria, Second Form Frieza, and Jocko's cards, they all provide pretty phenomenal boosts to the Super Saiyan Goku card, but they don't really help out Saiyans. They're not going to help out Piccolo at all. So Piccolo and Vegeta are just kind of there. Well, Piccolo, he's always your tank. You know, he's great. Vegeta and Goku, they share buffs between each other, and just, you know, kind of like a hybrid Saiyans and red buffing team. Of course, your three bench characters will never see the light of day in combat here. They are just existing specifically to buff up the Goku. And the reason why this kind of illustrates why monotype building is bad is because your opponent is going to see this when you go to queue into battle. And they know you're not going to bring the trash characters, so they will be able to hard counter you. And you don't really have as many options for counter types. Again, they're going to see and know what you're bringing, and they're going to know that Goku is the focus of this team, and they'll probably try and Rising Rush him or really focus him with as much damage as possible. So, as well, if they have a Broly, you're SOL with your Goku buffs in that matchup. So that's where Piccolo comes in. Now, again, this team is not super viable. I don't even have equipment on it. I probably wouldn't run it in PvP, but this just kind of illustrates, you know, what you would kind of look at or plan for if you were trying to buff a particular color. So like for Jocko here, which illustrate why some of these red focus is relevant. We have the 21% red base critical, so that's going to help Goku out a lot there. Oh, I've never actually even seen that before. That's cool, Jocko. Some cool card art there. Second form Frieza is going to buff the strike attack for Goku. So you're getting the picture here as to how this is kind of playing out. We have just, you know, various synergies that probably are going to be, again, more relevant in the future when we have better cards and more options. But this is just kind of toying with what we have available right now. This is more helpful probably for a free-to-play player that doesn't have access to a lot of the sparking cards. So 18% red base strike attack from Dodoria. So again, kind of a predictable team, easy to counter, but good synergy for Goku, or for like a mono focus there. And this is going to be a Broly Pycon hybrid team. So we have various things going on here to buff 2 characters instead of 1. The cost of this is going to be that either one of the 2 main characters in this team aren't going to get buffed as much as if you were focusing that character solely. So again, there's still some awesome things at play here. Like Broly and Pycon are going to buff each other. Well, mostly Broly buffing Pycon as a Sagas from the Movies character. Then you have EX Frost buffing Broly here. So you may have seen this build on Reddit, but EX Frost is a great matchup with Broly. He's going to increase the base strike and blast attack for your Broly there. So they pair up super well together for team building. Then you have the final form Frieza on the bench to help out Pycon. Goku is a variable character just if you need a color advantage, and as well he buffs the strike attack of Broly with his Z ability. And again, we know that Broly loves strike attack. So you could run potentially the EX blue type Goku here as well, but I just want red so I could have a potential counter to yellow. So that's why I didn't want 2 blue characters. But that's kind of where I'm going with that. So you do want to read all of your cards, you guys, and get a good idea of really what synergizes with what and how to build it. So I've shown kind of 4 or 5 different team theory ideas here. We're already over 20 minutes, so I don't want to run it too long. But, you know, you get the idea. Piccolo's here for tanking. He's not really helped out by anyone, but he helps everybody. Piccolo is the gift that just keeps on giving health. It's like a sensu bean on your team is the best way to describe him. But you have the Broly and the Pycon as the main focus of this team, with Piccolo there for tanking. You have your counter types, Goku on the bench just to basically help Broly and to sub in if you need an anti-Pycon character. And then Frieza and Frost probably won't see battle in this team. Pycon, you may bring Frieza if for some reason yours is more heavily buffed, you know, more powerful, more mastery stars than Pycon. But since I just kept pulling Pycon after Pycon after Pycon and already have him 100%ed so far, he's really the better option to run than Frieza on the active character slot. So again, that's pretty much all I had going on with team theory. Down in the comments, leave any teams that you've crafted, why you think they're good, the synergies, any mistakes you think I made, or missing selections, or wild cards, or swaps, or trades, or variable team builds. Let me know all that down in the comments. We are expecting this Super Saiyan Vegeta and Trunks banner relatively soon here. I would assume once the Space-Time 1 banner goes away, it'll kick into swing, and I will have some summons for that. So I don't know if I'm going to collaborate with someone for them or if I'm just going to swing it and do it solo, but if you guys do all the challenges in the missions tab, you can at least earn 1 to 2 free-to-play multi-summons. Whether or not you spend them on singles or multis is up to you, but do these missions, you guys. They're not difficult to do. You can do them in casual online. You can do them versus the AI, just using these various characters, and you can do them by just farming the soul orbs you need to upgrade your characters anyway. So do those missions. You will earn free-to-play stones that you can use for this new banner, or you can throw them at Frieza if you still want him. That is up to you guys. I would really love to get both Future Trunks and Super Saiyan Vegeta. because, I don't know, you know, I love Dragon Ball Z, I just want all the characters, but I'm sure all you guys feel the same way, and I'm kind of a budget player, so I'm not going to have a whole lot, but I do wish you guys good luck on any summons that you make. If you're new here, I'd love to see you again on future videos, so please hit that subscribe bell and turn notifications on if you're interested in this particular type of content, and like the video if you feel like helping me out. No obligation there. It's not going to hurt my feelings if you don't, but this is Nasdorachi. I did hope you enjoyed this episode with my updated face cam, and hopefully we can just keep moving on up from here, you guys, to bigger and better things, and new computer hopefully down the road. So I will check you guys out on the next video. Any questions or comments, leave them down below. I try to respond to everybody, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out, you guys. Have a great day, and let me know if you need anything. Have a good one.